So what we're looking for here is primarily a well-balanced diet of all of the fats that are designed by nature, which includes mono and polyunsaturated fats, but you'll see saturated fats too here. So the important things to understand. An unsaturated fat comes primarily from plant foods such as nuts and seeds. They're liquid at room temperature, which makes the fatty molecule very flexible. Healthy versions of this are going to be peanut oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil. And again, we're talking just fat, so I can hear the omega-6 alarms being raised in some people's ears. I'm going to explain that in a second. Your saturated fats are going to come more from oil sources and tropical oils. So these tend to be solid at room temperature, which means that they're less flexibility according to the molecule. Healthy versions of this, again, coconut oil, pasture-raised meats, and butters. So what's important about this flexibility factor? This gets into your cell membrane. And that's a lot of science in that verbiage, but here's what we're going to do to keep it simple. Think of a cell membrane as a castle wall. And you've got entrances and you've got windows and things, so things are supposed to go in and out of your cell membrane. Part of that cell membrane is also supposed to be very flexible. We talked about the protein piece. There is a certain part of pliability that is required for your cell membranes to function optimally. So the flexible part of the molecule helps to sweep things in and out of your cell membrane, which are primarily made of your 3s, 6s, and 9s and your omegas. Cholesterol's in there as well. So if you have a flexible part of your cell membrane, then you're moving things in and out. The saturated fat piece gives you a little bit more structure, but in order to sweep things in and out of the cell, you need to have something rigid like a wall to kind of sweep these things through. So this role of saturated and unsaturated fats has to do with that wall that surrounds your cell that keeps the good things in and the bad things out, but still allows access for good things to get in, like nutrients, and bad things to get out, like waste product. So you don't end up packing up a bunch of trash inside your castle wall and then wonder why your cell is dying prematurely.
Right, and that's why we love sardines and fatty fish and whole fish and these omega-3s. We love the omega-3s. A lot of people want to talk about fish oil, but fish oil does go rancid pretty quick.
It's also processed.
Yeah, it is processed.
All you're getting is a fish oil out of a fish. You've processed it. So there are other things in that fish that help that oil to work better. So again, I'm with you. Feed sardines. Feed whole food first. There's plenty of room for supplements to make up for support for the body. But if you're on a biologically appropriate diet, you don't need supplements. You just need food.
Yep. There you go. All right, we're on the next slide, which is a whole list of vitamins. I think we touched on this before, Dr. Klein. And again, they can go to the website and take a look at how many vitamins and minerals are actually, in food. A lot of people in the food that they're feeding their dogs. A lot of people, want to talk about today and how the soil has been depleted and how there's not as many vitamins and minerals in the food. And this is where we get the over supplementation, I feel, with people. We have supplements too. And so I think that you
use supplements.
Yeah.
I do believe in them, but you can't use a supplement to make up for a crappy diet.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. And the other thing is, you can't exercise your way out of a crappy diet either. And I hear this over and over again. When people want to justify feeding a crappy kibble, they say, but my dog gets tons of exercise.
Which makes feeding a more appropriate diet even more important, because you're asking this animal to exercise, breaking down muscles, needs to generate energy, but you're only providing it a carbohydrate-sourced base of fuel. So glucose, that dog's going to develop some type of arthritis. Cancer's high on the list of possibilities, or some type of an organ failure because they're pushing the body and they're not nourishing it. It's like putting regular gas in a Maserati and trying to drive 120 uphill pass. it's not going to happen. You can make it happen, but if you keep doing it that way, pretty soon you're going to burn out your motor.
Well, it's sort of like a long distance runner who eats
Right.
pizza and donuts and bagels and all that kind of crap. I don't think that that's what they do. And
No.
if you're, you know, an extreme athlete, then I think that the diet really matters. I would tell you this, and my niece is now playing basketball for OU, Oklahoma University. And in that program, when they get a full scholarship, they absolutely are monitored. Their food is monitored, and they get tested. Their hydration levels get tested. They don't just say, hey, go eat whatever you want. And in the athletes cafeteria, they have sections, a green section that says, eat all this you want, this great stuff. They have a yellow section that says, you know, only eat this in moderation. And then they have a red section that says, only eat this every once in a while. So, you know, these are extreme athletes who exercise all the time. Hello, baby. And but they still eat correctly. Okay, so now we are on your next slide, which is calcium, iron, zinc, and magnesium.
Okay, so just quickly before we move past vitamins, I do really want to stress to people that it has been proven that all kibble is deficient in vitamin D. Animals do not convert vitamin D from sunshine. So this is another really important time that you want to start thinking about your sardines and thinking about your fatty fishes, because vitamin D is now they're starting to understand has a lot of hormone-like functions. It's not just a vitamin, and it's a huge player in preventing cancer. So for everybody who's feeding kibble, understand that your pets are vitamin D deficient, and a synthetic vitamin D is not going to fix the problem. So
and it can be dangerous too, a synthetic
absolutely.
vitamin D.
Very, very narrow range of safety in that. So, so understanding that vitamins are the things that are the catalysts in metabolism, putting the spark to the tinder, so to speak. Our minerals are going to function primarily as the spark plug for the chemistry of life as well. These are absolutely necessary for the transmission of messages to the nervous system, digestion, and metabolism. So on this sheet, you will see that there are 6 minerals listed. The important part to understand about minerals is, yes, there are ratios. So calcium, phosphorus, we talk about a lot because it's easy to study. But the idea with minerals is that there is a very interactive thing going on with all of the 30 plus minerals in your body with regards to activation and turning off reactions in your body. So you, as much as we take out the calcium phosphorus ratio, because those 2 minerals play a vital role in body function, it is important also to have well-balanced zinc for a healthy immune system and skin, to have enough iron for your red blood cells. So they're focusing on the things in conventional feeding practices, dry food, on the things that they can measure in the bloodstream. Most of the rest of these minerals are not accessible in the bloodstream for any type of quantification. That's where hair analyses come in. So keeping in mind that too much focus in just isolated minerals will absolutely throw a real monkey wrench into how your body is actually working.
Right, and on my site, I'm looking at the zinc. You know, where do we find zinc? And I'll tell you where the protein sources of zinc are: rabbit, chicken, turkey, pork, lamb, goat, egg, beef, salmon, halibut, haddock, sardines. I mean, and we have all of those. So you're going to you're going to get the zinc. And the other thing, rabbit, our rabbit, and I will tell you, our rabbit right now is just sold out. It's crazy because of the allergies. A lot of people wanted a cool protein. Rabbit's out. One of the great things about rabbit, I hear some raw feeding experts, even Dr. Becker, who I've heard her say that some of the raw diets are lacking in manganese. Well, manganese comes from the fur, the skin, of the animal. And when we grind an entire animal, I know that sounds terrible, but this is what it is. When we grind, it's nature. We're talking about the bits and pieces. We're talking about the fur. We're talking about the skin. We're talking about the feathers. But also in our rabbit, And many of our blends, we've got eyeballs, we've got the rabbit brains. So there is a difference in a pure raw than there is a commercial raw. And there darn sure is a huge difference in pure raw versus any kind of kibble that you want to put a parentheses around and call it premium.
Absolutely. Absolutely.